The firm works with the NFL as well as teams across all five major sports leagues. They have NCAA members, sports ticketing companies as well, and they just announced a new partnership with JP Morgan, which does a lot of lending to sports investors. With us now is Jessica Gelman. She is CEO of the Kraft Analytics Group. Jessica, congratulations. It's great to have you. And explain how this all kind of came about as a result of A-Rod looking at the Mets.
Well, let me also just start that the mnemonic for Kraft Analytics Group is CAGR. So we had a little bit of fun there with the financial term. So last summer, we were doing some work with JP Morgan on obviously the Mets project. And we had just a really good experience. Obviously, that didn't work out, but we had a really good experience working with their team and thought that there would be some really good potential synergies for both parties to work with them. So, the intent of what we're trying to do is help potential clients of theirs who are looking to invest in a sports team with understanding the opportunity, and then also to be, once they've made the acquisition, to help them grow that business and best leverage that asset that they now have in their portfolio.
How do you mine data? What kind of data do you look at? And then how do you package it in a way that would help either an investor who wants to maybe take a slice of a team, as A-Rod just did with the Minnesota Timberwolves, or an existing owner who wants to enhance his or her performance?
There's really two types of data. There's the primary data, which the team actually owns, and that's the understanding of who their customer is. And that's really the heart of what our business is, which is helping create great fan experiences for our clients and for the teams that they're for their teams and the fans there. So the work is understanding what is the right product for the customer at the right time. So that's kind of the one customer component or key component from a data perspective. The other is what we would call the publicly available data that we're web scraping to be part of our machine learning models. And we do a lot of different types of work. So we have a bunch of what we call CAGR metrics, where we're defining and understanding the value of a fan. We're making sure that sales agents have the right customers that they're reaching out to, because often there's so many fans who have potential interest in maybe attending games or following the team on the various media assets. How do you get to the right customer again at the right time?
Can you give,
and then the third,
I'm sorry to interrupt, but let me see if I could ask you to do this.
Sure.
Could you give us an example of a case where you have used data and presented it to the owner of, say, I don't know who, the Dallas Mavericks or whomever, and it has resulted in either higher revenues or greater profitability? Give me an example of how you take the data and say, look, if you put the popcorn in this or you did that, you'd make more.
I think it's a great question. I think the best example actually is some of the work that we've done with the NFL, which is very, they're obviously invested in data and in understanding their customers, their ticketing customers, meaningfully 4 years ago. And this is kind of just a simple example of the data that's available and putting it to use. But they would send out surveys to fans after games, but it was kind of a blind shot of who they were sending to through the integrated ticketing platform that we built for them. They are now sending it directly to customers who are actually attending the games. And the impact of that is they're getting actual feedback from fans and customers about their experiences, not people who weren't attending. Obviously, the number of responses they're getting has increased dramatically, and then the changes that they're making within the venues has massively increased. So I can give the specific example of a team, but broadly, you've probably noted and seen the number of investments that are happening across stadiums this off season or the last year and a half or so to enhance the experiences. And a lot of that is better insights as to what the customers want and need at games.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.